Well, hello everyone. Once again, no apologies for another live today because this was such a good and interesting article, and the effect of legislation being passed that could make bluffing a thing of the past. Remember Judge Hamilton asking Laura Nyrider, are police allowed to bluff? And, the answer is, well, no, they shouldn't be allowed to bluff. But the Supreme Court has allowed them to bluff. And it's created huge problems. As Jerry pointed out when he was interviewed at the Seventh Circuit hearing afterwards, the one where Ken Kratz famously did a press conference about his book. If you wanted some proper opinion, then that was, of course, provided by Jerry Butin, who pointed out that America is the only English-speaking country in the world where the police are allowed to bluff. But let's use a better term, because bluff sounds, here in the UK, we're used to the program Call My Bluff. It's very light-hearted. It's good fun, but bluffing is the same as lying. And I like the term deceptive interrogations. That's also a good term. Just make sure everything's working okay. Seems to be. Hi there, Jay and Sean, Linda, Darkside. Nice to see you all back again so soon. So let's just crack straight on into this particular article. I'm sure you'll all recognize these very famous people. So this is an article, an opinion in the New York Times, written by Yusuf Salaam, Kevin Richardson, and Raymond Santana. They were exonerated after spending 13 years in prison. They are now criminal justice activists. So here they are. Obviously, we saw them in the documentary drama When They See Us. We've got obviously Raymond Santana, Yusuf Salaam, Kevin Richardson, Anthony McRae, and Corey Wise. Yeah, from left, Raymond Santana, Yusuf Salaam, Corey Wise, Kevin Richardson, Anton McRae. Antron. And I particularly remember, obviously, Kevin Richardson was the trumpet playing member of the Central Park Five. It might be easier if I use this. Okay, let's do it this way. Okay. So this is written by three of the members of the Central Park Five. So on December the 19th, 2002, a judge vacated our convictions for the brutal attack on Tricia Mealy, who many know as the Central Park Jogger. On that day, our 13-year fight for justice came to an end. The lies that we were told by detectives to wrongly convict us were finally exposed and ceased to hold power over us. Now we are fighting to prevent others from facing the same fate. At the time of our arrests in 1989, we were just boys. Kevin and Raymond, the youngest among us, were only 14, and we came to be known as the Central Park Five. Now we are known as the Exonerated Five, and largely because of Ava DuVernay's series When They See Us, the world knows our stories. But what people may not realize is that what happened to us isn't just the past. It's in the present. The methods that the police used to coerce us, 5 young boys, into falsely confessing, are still commonly used today. (2002), 13 years, 1989 when they were coerced. Brendan, 2006. Yeah, it's still going on. It's still going on in Brendan's case. As I say, the methods used are still commonly used today, but in its coming session, New York State legislators have the power to change that. It's hard to imagine why anyone would confess to a crime they didn't commit, but when you're in that interrogation room, everything changes. During the hours of relentless questioning that we each endured, detectives lied to us repeatedly. They said they had matched our fingerprints to crime scene evidence and told each of us that the others had confessed and implicated us in the attack. They said that if we just admitted to participating in the attack, we could go home. All of these were blatant lies. With these tactics of deception and intimidation, detectives sought to exhaust, disorientate, and confuse us. They hoped to make us so fearful of never seeing our loved ones again that we'd say anything to protect ourselves and our families. Ultimately, that's what nearly all of us did. I think it was only Yusuf Salam that actually stayed firm. It felt like the truth didn't matter. Instead, it seemed as though they locked into one theory and were hell-bent on securing incriminating statements to corroborate it. A conviction rather than justice felt like the goal. And those whose false confessions they were able to secure, and with those false confessions, they were able to secure our wrongful convictions. These deceptive tactics aren't right, but at the moment they are legal. Now, the miscarriages of justice in our cases weren't isolated incidents. False confessions played a role in nearly 30% of wrongful convictions later overturned by DNA evidence. In New York State alone, 43 people who have been exonerated, including us, were wrongfully convicted based on false confessions. Several of those innocent people were, like us, teenagers at the time they were wrongly accused. Now, as we've seen with Brendan's case, in a courtroom, a confession, whether true or false, is likely to seal your fate. Judges and juries tend to believe confessions over DNA evidence that points to a person's innocence, but they also have a surprisingly difficult time discerning between a true confession and a false one. Well, it's that's true. I would accept that, but it seems bizarre to me that one of the things I've been reading about in Richard Leo's book is the police are at the forefront of trying to come up with a foolproof lie detector test. You know, your polygraphs, your voice stress analysis, all these sort of things. They're no more accurate than tossing a coin. And yet, it seems bizarre that at the same time as the police being on the forefront of trying to develop lie detector tests, you know, body language, all that kind of stuff, they themselves are striving to lie to people in an interrogation. They're striving to come across as credible, so they're constantly trying to deceive any kind of lie detector. Anyway, so if confessions were evaluated for reliability before trial, the same way that the reliability of forensic evidence and eyewitness identifications are assessed before they are admitted as evidence, the use of false confessions could be drastically reduced. This could go a long way forward toward preventing wrongful convictions, and the groundwork has already been laid. I mean, in Brendan's case, what do you think was the number one lie that Bert and Ernie told Brendan? What do you reckon was the number one lie? Since 2018, so well after. Brendan's case. Since 2018, New York has required the recording of interrogations of individuals accused of serious crimes that occur in police stations, correctional centres, prosecutors' offices, and similar holding areas. These recordings, along with other evidence, could be examined during admissibility hearings to thoroughly evaluate a confession's reliability before it's admitted into evidence and presented in a courtroom. Recording interrogations is crucial for accountability, but it's not enough to prevent false confessions in the first place. The juries at our trials saw only videotapes of the statements we made after hours of questioning and coercion without lawyers present. They didn't see the hours of threats and manipulation that preceded those recorded statements. To truly protect the innocent, New York must go a step further by banning the use of deceptive interrogation methods. A bill by New York State Senate Zelna Myrie that will come up this session could make this possible. Senator Myrie's proposed legislation would ban the use of deception in interrogations and ensure that confessions are assessed for reliability before they make it into the courtroom. It's crucial that New York lawmakers pass these measures to prevent future wrongful convictions and ensure that no one else is ever robbed of their youth or freedom. And I would also point out that no one else has to go through the fact that somebody is wrongfully convicted, allowing the real perpetrator to roam free. These psychologically coercive tactics presume guilt rather than innocence, and as a result, they taint law enforcement's efforts to find facts. But lying at most police agencies in the United States is permitted, their use is permitted, even while many of their European counterparts have abandoned these methods. We've talked in the past about the peace method, whereby an interrogation of an individual is more similar to a journalist taking doing a report, and it's more of a conversation rather than this lying to them and saying you're done. We've got all this evidence. You're guilty. You just need to say it. You just need to tell us, and then you can go and hand your project back or whatever. These measures, together with a legislative proposal to ensure the right to legal counsel for young people during interrogations that will be considered in Albany, would help prevent others from experiencing the injustices we endured. New York could lead the way for the country by adopting these changes and strengthening the legal system. But until then, there's no telling how many more innocent people the system will ensnare, forcing them to fight for their freedom and their lives. And yes, Yusuf Salam does serve on the board of the Innocence Project. So, excellent, excellent that they should want to put together that article, that report, and hopefully it won't be too long before deceptive interrogation techniques become a thing of the past. Now let's have a look, see if anybody in the let's exit that. In fact, let's do that. So, hi there. Wigaholic, Linda, Darkside, JD, Sean, Donna. Oh, Millville is still here. And Anna. Oh, hi Anna. I haven't seen you for a while. Yes, as we mentioned this morning, you must check out that Gilter, who thinks that he's busted the Stephen Avery case wide open, because he's listened so carefully to the jail phone call that he can actually hear Stephen Avery talking about Teresa to Jody. The problem is he's taken these two comments completely out of context. The original poster knew he would get called out, so you can't post comments yet. I wouldn't do that, but I do kick everything out that cartoon character ever sends. Until that particular person is agreeing to come on and have a live chat respectfully and talk about it, then they can write all they write, but it's all they want. But I'll just delete it as soon as they post. And yeah, that other video I did, I just blocked. What's called heavy duty Gilter. Just blocked them straight away. It's just as you were saying, a sort of distraction tactic, trying to insult our intelligence and completely avoiding answering any of the important questions, which was, why didn't the press immediately jump on Mike the way they would have done had it been Steve? Did I pass the lie detector test? I have a funny feeling that was to do with Michael O'Kelly was supposed to give the lie detector test. And yes, I think they did lie to him, didn't they? Certainly Michael O'Kelly certainly lied to him, and possibly Wiegert and Fassbender. But of course, the biggest lie that they kept saying to Brendan, for me, was simply the fact that we know everything. We know, we've been doing this job so long, we know everything about this. We know what happened. Exactly. We know what happened. We just want it from your words. And then they proceed to spoon feed everything to Brendan. In fact, we will have a look at the, I've got it lined up for some time in the future. The first of the several interrogations, I think it was on the Saturday before the March 1st interview. Is it the 26th or the 27th or something like that? It's, I think it's at Two Rivers Police Station, but I might be wrong. And there is some interesting stuff there. Anyway, let's come on down. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Just to confirm, as I say, that looking forward to next Wednesday, hopefully with Mark Godsey of the book, author of the book Blind Injustice. And I think it will be interesting, in particular, because Mark at one time was a prosecutor, a very aggressive prosecutor, as far as I know. He's okay. I'll catch you all soon, and thank you everybody for joining. Catch you again soon. Bye for now.